Somebody said, Keef made you. I helped make Keef. Yeah, I gave them rep that they never had. I called the shot right Grim Reaper. That's why when he's getting shot at, it happened to him. Y'all are looking at it in disbelief. You know why? Because I created that fucking vision that he was untouchable. So don't do it like it's one-sided. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. I've done a lot to create narratives and help rappers themselves.
Yeah, so those are comments from one of, I believe, DJ Akademiks' Twitch streams. And congrats on the Spotify deal as well, bruh. Yeah, I don't agree with the sentiment. So essentially, Akademiks was saying that he deserves a lot of credit for the career of Chief Keef. Now, let me put this in perspective here, all right? Chief Keef was at the Rolling Loud Festival. He usually does the Rolling Loud. He doesn't do a lot of performances, but he does Rolling Loud every year. He probably had one of the 5 biggest performances at Rolling Loud. Like, dude, for this era, like right under me, I'm 27, like right under there, like right there, dude is like a legend of our era. Many of us believe once you got past of yesterday, the Lil Wayne era, as we entered the Drake era, kind of like the gap between that was some of the drill music, and Chief Keef was the forefront of that for Chicago. Around 2012, Finally Rich came out. Like, Chief Keef he's like the connecting bond for a lot of people following the Wayne and then getting into the Drake era, and some of the Lils and Youngs and all that. People associate Chief Keef as like the forefather of the new era of rap, right? So Chief Keef is certified. For Akademiks, who, by the way, on this platform, y'all know we've given Akademiks his roses. If I can't say nothing else about Akademiks, I can tell you this: that man is a visionary. That man, I'm in the space. Keep that in mind. I'm in the space. I've seen it all different type of ways. That man is about 3.5 to 4 years ahead of hip hop. That is a huge compliment that I'm giving Akademiks. Seriously, like, the dude is just ahead of the game. But if you ever been to journalism school, which I have been to, the first rule you learn before anything else is try your best to never make yourself a part of the story. And I got to give Ak a lot of credit. In hip hop, it's a little different. Sometimes you got to get grimy in it. You know, when you start mixing in broadcast journalism, internet journalism, which is what I call it, radio journalism a little bit as well. It's sensationalized. I get it. The Wendy Williams, the Charlemagne's, they've had a lot of success. But what I'm watching Ak do is he's taking it. It's called like geek syndrome a little bit, right? He feels like he has not been given his flowers, so he's going to take them, right? And to be fair to Akademiks, I do believe the brother does a decent amount of credit for a lot of people's careers. He has co-signed a lot of people and turned them into a big deal. But some things are better left unsaid. When you come across as a guy that's looking to take credit for a career like Chief Keef, somebody that we know has had to go through some things in his life, lost some people, like really from that. To me, it comes across as inconsiderate and just honest to God truth. It feels like you're not thinking this one through. Like, you're not using your head when you talk, right? Like, bro, we say the same thing with sports journalism. One of the reasons why I can't watch too much Fox Sports is because I feel like their personalities don't have appreciation for the craft. When I see Akademiks saying, yo, I created Chief Keef in a way, right? Like, I think you're trying to give yourself too much credit, my brother. Like, you're taking it a little too far. Even if behind the scenes, Chief Keef gives it up to you or whomever, like, to me, you're undervaluing that man's ability to rap, his creativity, you know, his performances, what he puts into his craft, when he does put into his craft. Like, I think that's just taking too much credit. And the fact that a lot of that man's success has been him monetizing the real pain and trauma of his real life. And when you come across as a guy that ain't never been in nothing like that, to me, it's a little too inconsiderate. You got to pull back from that. I don't agree with that. And G Herbo disagrees with Akademiks' stance. He's like, yo, when you say stuff like this, yeah, yo, this is why I can't never really rock with you like that. That's what G Herbo said to Akademiks. And I get it. He has every right to feel that way, right? Like that. Look, I've given Akademiks a crap ton of credit on this platform. Like I said, the man's 3.5, 4 years ahead of everybody else, including self, by the way. Like some of the stuff he's created and how he's monetized hip hop, he's been the best at it. No questions about it. But like I have a weird line that I've drawn in where I do for a living. Like I don't like getting involved in stories because I know life can get real. Like I'm from nothing for real, you know, but I ain't perpetuating no street life because I know I went in the streets. So I get on here, I do my job, and I get back, right? I could give y'all the news. Some people don't disagree with that. That's fine. This is my livelihood. This is how I make a living for myself. But I've always known, also I got OGs in my corner as well. I've always known when it's too much. Like I don't want to be, if I got to get it that way, I don't want it that way. So I've always tried to get in, give you the story, and get out. Sure, there have been spots where I could have indulged more, but oftentimes I'm like, nah, I don't want to do it. I don't want it that way. Just because I know things can get really real really quickly, and I still go outside. Like I still cover events and stuff like that. But hey, to each his own. Y'all let me know what y'all think about Akademiks' comments. He takes a big ton of the credit for Chief Keef's success. I think, man, that's a little much, man. That's ridiculous, act like that. Come on, bro. Like you got to give credit to people's real lives, right? Like yes, you were blogging, and the war in Chirac was a big deal. Be clear about that. It was a big deal. Something that you've admittedly said probably was not the brightest of moments in your careers, but it helped pop you off. But still, fam, like, yo, two things can't be true to me, act. Like, I'll just leave it like this, right? You can't 1 minute say the war in Chirac was not like a bright moment in your career, which is something I've heard you say before, right? And I appreciate you coming out and saying that. But then when you try to take credit for Chief Keef's career, you know how that looks. It feels like you're going back on the apology that you made about the war in Chirac. Because to me, what I get from that is you still feel that way deep down. Like you still feel like, yo, you covering a lot of stuff is the reason why a lot of these artists in position. And to me, they ain't really taking no responsibility for maybe your small piece in what was a bad time, which I'm not blaming Akademiks for that. That was a mess anyway, what was going on there. But that platform, he's admitted like that was a part of it. Like, come on, fam. Like that's a bit much, bro. Like, that's a bit much credit you want from something that real lives were taken from.